Dear students, in the previous videos we discussed about the different types of disasters and impact of disasters. Okay, when an disaster occurs, what is its impact on human population? Who is affected very much? What is its impact on economy? What is the impact on ecology? What is the impact on psychological nature of the people? Okay, impact on the environment. Okay, so all these things we have discussed in the previous video, which is titled Impact on Disasters. So in this video we are going to discuss about differential impact of disasters on certain areas like women, children, aged people. Okay, we will focus on a particular sector. What is the impact of disaster on a particular sector? So, differential impact of disasters. So, we are going to handle four sectors. One is women, children, elderly people, and people with special needs or disability. People recurring, okay, people recurring special needs. So we will discuss about these four sectors. So differential impact of disasters include the following, but not limited to these things: women, children, aged people, physically and mentally challenged people, and people with critical needs. Okay, so disasters will have huge or differential impact on these sectors. Okay, so why these sectors are impact means, so these are the backbone of our society. This sector is the backbone of our society. So whenever a disaster occurs, this backbone is affected much. So we have to give special care to this set of community. They need special attention. Okay, so during disasters, they have to be treated well. So differential impact on women. So women are the backbone of every family in Indian culture. So they look after our family. They look after about everything in our life. So when a disaster occurs, the impact of disaster on women population is huge. First and foremost, mentally they are affected because whenever any event occurs, it kindles the emotions of women. Especially Indian women are susceptible to emotions. So due to disaster, they are affected huge. Disasters deteriorate health. So after disaster, always the family members will think about the family. So they will forget to take food, or food may not be available. Food may not be available with proper nutrients. Then they may be prevented from moving to one place to another place, that is restricted mobility. Okay, greater stress, and women are perceived to be victims rather than responders. So in Indian scenario, women are treated secondary. Even if they have a good idea, society will not accept it. Maybe 30%. So they are all victims rather than responders. And in many cases, you will have sexual violence also. Okay, after a disaster, there is a different class of people whose behavior become worst. Okay, they spread violence among women. Okay, exploitation of women, separating women from their family. Okay, weakening their economy, showing aggressive behavior to women. So this is not done by everyone in the society. There is a set of people who thinks that women are most vulnerable, women are very soft, so they exploit them, they endanger women. Okay, after a disaster, a husband may be mentally affected, and immediately if he is having mental instability, he will start to torture others. So the first and foremost person who is going to get affected is his wife or mother. Okay, because they think that they are all vulnerable. Okay, so due to vulnerability, they are going to get affected easily. So they are facing torture, physical and psychological harms, child labor practice, and then denial of basic needs. So these are some of the differential impact of disasters on women. Okay, so women have to be worshipped as God, but during disaster times, they have to be given special care because they are all backbone of everyone's family. Then differential impact of disasters on children. So children are precious gems to each and everyone's family. They are innocent. Okay, they are like gods. Everybody likes children. So when a disaster occurs, it affects the children's most because they may not have maturity. They don't know what to do during disasters time. So they are all vulnerable persons during disaster. So how they are vulnerable? Okay, in terms of health, undernourishment, malnutrition, inadequate hygiene and sanitation. So the health of the children will be affected very much. Psychological effects, fear, childish or regressive behavior, difficulty in sleeping and concentrating, playing. Okay, so they will have psychological effects after seeing a disaster. They will not be normal, they will behave abnormally, and it will take much time to come back to their normal state. So for a few of them, they will return to normal stage within months, but for many people it will take years to come back to their normal life. Psychologically they will be affected. Then due to disaster, education of the children are affected very much. Okay, they may not find proper school because they might have migrated from one place to another place. Okay, school dropping is, that is dropouts are more in number because their economy may got affected due to financial crisis. There may be more number of school dropouts. Okay, due to fear, school dropouts will be there. So education is disturbed during disaster. So the impact on mother and child. Okay, previously we have seen the impact on women, then impact on children. Now the differential impact on mother and a child, how they are affected. Because if you have a mother with a small kid, you think about how the family is running, how much importance the mother will give to the particular newborn child, how the family will take care the child and the mother. Okay, so much importance has to be given for a mother and a child during disaster time because they are all like newborn babies. Okay, so they have to be taken care during disaster. So during disasters, okay, there will be increased case of complications and premature delivery among women. So during delivery time, if a disaster occurs, the women will be mentally disturbed and they may have complications in the delivery, that is, and many problems may occur. Okay, children are born weak. Okay, feeding may become a problem, and if a child is born in a disaster period, the characteristics of that particular child may have aggressive behavior, or he may be very lazy. So there are many facts which affect mother and a child. It does not stops with the mother itself. The impacts are carried to the small born child also. Okay, so the disasters affect mother and child at a bigger rate. A differential impact on aged people. Okay, elderly people are huge in number in India. Okay, so these elderly people are highly vulnerable to disasters. Why? Elderly people are or will be weak. Most of the time they will be weak because they are all aged above 80. So an 80-year-old grandpa or grandma or father or mother, they cannot walk at a faster rate, they cannot run. So whenever a disaster or a calamity occurs, they cannot move easily, they cannot take care about their belongings. Okay, so the impact of disasters on aged people is very difficult. Okay, you may be finding a good shelter during an earthquake, but grandpa cannot walk fastly, and it is difficult for a single person to take care about them. Okay, so aged people are vulnerable people during disasters. Okay, so it may be due to many reasons. It may be due to a balance disorder, or by natural aging process, or decreased strength, okay, or not having tolerance for diseases, okay, deterioration of sight, hearing, smell, taste. Many things are there. Due to those reasons, aged people are vulnerable during disasters. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why aged people are affected much. So for aged people, we have to give special care because they are all children's. Their characteristics is similar to children. So we have to find them proper home, family, and we have to provide security. Okay, because they have to face the shock of losing all that they attained in their life. So that should not happen. So when a disaster occurs, give them proper home, family, and security. Then differential impact on people with disability. So when a disaster occurs, even a healthy person find it difficult to find a shelter. Now you think about the people who don't have the proper eyesight, people who don't have proper listening capability, who don't have legs, people who are all mentally challenged. They don't understand anything. So when a disaster occurs, who will help those people? What will be the impact of disasters on such people? So it is a huge calamity for differentially abled people or people with disability. So we have to give proper guidance to the team who is going to handle people with disability, because the team has to be appropriate. They should not ill-treat the people with disabilities. They should not abuse them. Sexual abuseness, violence, torture, those things should not happen to people with disabilities. So when a disaster comes, people with disability are affected much. Then differential impact on people with critical needs. Okay, so in the previous slide we have seen people with disability. Next, this one in this slide, people requiring critical needs. For example, a person is affected by some blood problem, or is having cancer. Blood purification has to be done daily. Okay, now he is in home. From home, he is doing dialysis. So when a natural calamity or a disaster occurs, what to do? How we are going to help that particular person? Because for him, dialysis has to be done continuously. People may be affected by heart disease, so they require continuous supply of oxygen. Some people require continuous monitoring, nerve problems, so they need equipments. Okay, so all these things are critical needs for a set of people. So during disaster, how you are going to arrange the needs of such people? Okay, so dependent on life sustaining medications such as people affected with HIV or AIDS, or people during dialysis, diabetes. So how we are going to help them? How you are going to arrange medications for such people? How to arrange healthcare facilities and healthcare professionals for such vulnerable community? Okay, so disasters will have much impact on people needs. Okay, so if a hospital is destroyed, what will happen to the patients who are in need of doctors and hospital equipments, dialysis centers, pharmacies? Okay, so it is very critical for some class of people. And during disasters, we may not find electricity. So what will happen to patients in the hospital? Because nebulizers are running, oxygen therapy requires electricity, suction devices, automatic injections, timely injections, dialysis, all these things require electricity. So people with critical needs are affected much during a disaster. Okay, so such people require additional care during disasters. Okay, so how to help such people? Okay, what need to be done? So we have to establish mechanisms to support the more vulnerable group to access their entitlements. So women, children, elderly, and people with disability and critical needs, we have to plan for mechanisms to support them, create opportunities for them to participate in decision making. So don't ignore them, don't put them in a different cell. Okay, don't avoid them, create opportunity for them to participate in decision makers. Okay, so convert them for as decision makers rather than listeners. Okay, so dear students, in this video we have discussed about the differential impact of disasters on particular set of caste and community, like women, children, elderly, people with disability, and people requiring special needs. Thank you.